Black CEO denied first-class seat. 45 minutes later, airline in chaos. Hook. On a crisp morning at JFK International Airport, Dr. Marcus Everett, a celebrated Black CEO, approached the gate for his first-class flight, only to be told his seat was unavailable, a decision that would unravel into a corporate firestorm within the hour, exposing systemic flaws and sparking chaos across the airline. Dr. Marcus Everett stood at the bustling gate in Terminal 4, his tailored suit crisp and his demeanor calm but commanding. At 42, he was the CEO of Horizon Innovations, a tech firm revolutionizing renewable energy and a frequent flyer with elite status on SkyVista Airlines. His first-class ticket for Flight 237 to San Francisco was clutched in one hand, his phone in the other, displaying a boarding pass with Seat 1A in bold. He'd flown this route countless times, always in the same seat, always without issue. Today, though, something felt off. The gate agent, a woman in her late 20s with a tight smile, scanned his boarding pass. Her screen beeped, and her expression shifted. "I'm sorry, sir," she said, her voice clipped. "There's an issue with your seat. It's been reassigned." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Reassigned? I booked 1A months ago. I'm a Platinum Elite member. What's the issue?" The agent, whose name tag read Karen, glanced at her screen, then back at him. "It's unavailable. We've moved you to 23B, Economy." Marcus's jaw tightened, but he kept his tone even. "I paid for first class. I'm not moving to Economy. Can you explain why my seat was reassigned?" Karen's smile faltered. "It's just airline policy, sir. Sometimes seats are reallocated for operational reasons." "Operational reasons?" Marcus pressed. "What does that mean? Was the seat double-booked? Is the plane overbooked?" She hesitated, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. "I don't have that information. You'll need to take it up with customer service after the flight." Marcus leaned forward slightly, his voice calm but firm. "I'd like to speak to a supervisor. Now." Karen's eyes flicked to the line of passengers behind him, growing restless. "The supervisor is busy, sir. You need to board now or you'll miss the flight." Marcus didn't budge. He'd faced enough subtle slights in his career to recognize when something wasn't right. "I'm not boarding until I know why my seat was taken. Get me a supervisor." The tension at the gate thickened. Passengers whispered, some pulling out phones to record. Karen sighed, picked up a walkie-talkie, and muttered something. Minutes later, a supervisor, a man in his 50s with a tired expression, appeared. His name tag read Tom. "Mr. Everett, I understand there's a concern," Tom said, glancing at Karen's screen. "Your seat was reassigned due to a priority passenger. It's standard procedure." "Priority over a Platinum Elite member with a confirmed first-class ticket?" Marcus asked, his voice steady but sharp. "Who's the priority passenger?" Tom hesitated, then lowered his voice. "I can't disclose that, sir. It's a privacy issue." Marcus crossed his arms. "So, you're telling me someone else, with less status, took my seat, and you can't tell me why? That's not how this works. I want my seat back, or I want a clear explanation." Tom's face reddened. "Sir, you're holding up boarding. If you don't take 23B, you'll be removed from the flight." The words hit like a slap. Marcus, a man who'd built a company from the ground up, who'd sat in boardrooms with Fortune 500 executives, felt the weight of the moment. He knew this wasn't just about a seat. It was about being dismissed, undervalued, assumed to be less than. He'd felt it before, too many times. "I'm not moving," Marcus said, his voice low but resolute. "You're going to fix this." The gate area was now a spectacle. Passengers craned their necks, some murmuring support, others grumbling about delays. Karen looked flustered, Tom exasperated. He stepped away, speaking into his walkie-talkie, likely calling for backup. Marcus stood his ground, his phone now in his hand, live streaming to his 200,000 ex-followers. "SkyVista Airlines just took my first-class seat for no reason," he said into the camera. "They won't explain why. Let's see how this plays out." Within minutes, the post began to spread. Marcus's followers, many of whom were business leaders, activists, and tech enthusiasts, shared it rapidly. Comments poured in. This is unacceptable. SkyVista, do better. Is this racial profiling? The hashtag SkyVista scandal started trending. Back at the gate, Tom returned with a security officer in tow. Mr. Everett, you need to board now or leave the terminal, Tom said, his tone final. Marcus didn't flinch. I'm not going anywhere until you honor my ticket. I paid for first class. I'm a loyal customer. You don't get to treat me like this. The security officer, a burly man named Rodriguez, looked uncomfortable. Sir, let's not escalate this. Just take the seat they offered. Marcus shook his head. I'm not escalating anything. I'm asking for what I paid for. If you want to escalate, that's on you. By now, the gate was chaos. Passengers were shouting, some in support of Marcus, others demanding the flight board. A woman in a business suit yelled, "This is ridiculous. Give him his seat." A man in a hoodie muttered, "Just move, man. You're holding us up." The tension was palpable, a microcosm of a larger divide. Marcus's phone buzzed incessantly as notifications flooded in. His live stream had hit 10,000 viewers. Journalists were picking up the story, with outlets like CNN and the New York Times already drafting headlines. SkyVista's customer service X account, usually quick with generic responses, was silent. At the 20-minute mark, a new figure approached, a woman in her 40s, sharply dressed, with a SkyVista badge identifying her as Linda, regional manager. She looked harried, clearly pulled from another terminal. "Mr. Everett," she said, extending a hand. "I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Can we step aside and resolve this?" Marcus nodded, but didn't lower his phone. "I'm happy to talk, but I'm not stopping the stream. People deserve to know what's happening." Linda's smile was strained. They moved to a quieter corner of the gate, though passengers still watched. "There was a mix-up," she began. "Your seat was reassigned to accommodate a VIP passenger. It was a clerical error." Marcus's eyes narrowed. A VIP? More important than a Platinum Elite member? Who? Linda hesitated. "I can't disclose their identity, but it was a high-profile individual traveling on urgent business." "More urgent than mine?" Marcus countered. "I'm speaking at a clean energy summit in San Francisco tomorrow. My work impacts millions. What makes this VIP more important?" Linda's composure wavered. "It's not about importance, sir. It's about protocol. Sometimes we have to make tough calls." Marcus wasn't buying it. "Protocol doesn't explain why you couldn't tell me up front. Why the secrecy? Why the runaround? I've been flying with you for years. This isn't how you treat loyal customers." Linda glanced at the growing crowd, then at Marcus's phone. "We can upgrade you on your next flight, offer a full refund, and provide a travel voucher. Will that work?" Marcus shook his head. "I don't want a voucher. I want my seat. I want to know why this happened. And I want an apology, not just to me, but to every customer you've treated like this." The standoff stretched on. By now, Flight 237 was delayed by 30 minutes. Passengers were restless, some missing connections. The gate agents scrambled to rebook flights, but the system was overwhelmed. Social media was ablaze, with hashtag SkyVista scandal trending nationwide. News outlets reported on the incident, with headlines like "Black CEO denied first-class seat, sparks airline chaos," and "SkyVista faces backlash over seat dispute." At the 40-minute mark, a man in a pilot's uniform approached. Captain Daniel Hayes, the flight's pilot, had been watching from the jetway. "Mr. Everett," he said, his voice calm but authoritative. "I just heard what's going on. I'm not okay with this. Let's get you on board in 1A. Linda's eyes widened. "Captain, we can't." "We can," Hayes interrupted. "I'm the captain. I say who flies where. Mr. Everett, you're in 1A. Let's go." The crowd erupted in cheers. Marcus, still live streaming, followed Hayes to the jetway. As he boarded, he saw the VIP in 1A, a white man in his 60s, dressed casually, looking flustered as he was asked to move to economy. Marcus didn't recognize him, but whispers among the crew suggested he was a low-level politician with no real claim to priority. The flight took off 45 minutes late, but the ripple effects were just beginning. Skyvista's stock plummeted 3% within hours as the story dominated news cycles. The airline issued a public apology, admitting to an error in seat allocation and promising a full investigation. Marcus's live stream, now viewed by over 1 million people, prompted calls for boycotts and federal inquiries into airline discrimination practices. In the days that followed, Marcus used his platform to advocate for transparency in airline policies. He met with Skyvista's CEO, who personally apologized and implemented new training for gate agents. The incident sparked a broader conversation about systemic bias in customer service, with other passengers coming forward with similar stories. Marcus's summit speech in San Francisco was a triumph, but he didn't mention the incident. He didn't need to. The world was already talking about it.